Alright, so what we got here is a Ridgid Roofing Framing Gun. This model is R175RNF. Your typical roofing gun. You have your load your nails in here. See, I got mine loaded. What you want to do is you're going to want to take your nails out. Close that up. So I was having two problems with this gun. I had air blowing out the back, right here, just blowing air. I would plug it in and air would just blow out. I also had a trigger problem. I pulled the trigger before the air was blowing out the back. I pulled the trigger and it would hold air and just wouldn't shoot nails. All the air would come out of the trigger. So the first thing we had to do was we took apart the back. If you have air blowing out the back, you pull out the back. It's not that hard. You get yourself a seal kit. It's like 65 bucks online. Get yourself a seal kit, and all the old rings, all the gaskets. You take the back off, pull the back out, replace all your old rings, and put it back together. And normally that will stop the back with the air blowing out. That's what I did. That's what I did at first. Then I found out that I had a trigger issue as well. We had to go through and actually take the gun apart and fix it. We took the whole top off, we took the bottom off, pulled this out. This trigger mechanism is a cylinder that pulls right out. You have to pull the trigger off and do it. We'll show you right now in a bit. So I'll actually take it all apart again just to show you guys. We're going to start with the back first. And just to know, I already fixed it before I made this video, so I thought I'll come back, shoot the video, and show you how it goes prior to fixing it, because I didn't want to put it all back together. These guys are on here. When you take your screws off, these guys just come off, one on each side. This guy too is on here. This just blocks you, or it has a little foam thing. There's a little rubber washer that goes right on here. This guy goes on. This guy's on just where this is a regular hex nut screw. So we'll just kind of pre-do this, but this is off already. Like I said, this is just to block your air so it doesn't blow in your face when you do it. There is a little rubber low gasket here. I mean, it's just for contact. There's no air sealing on that. That's off. Sides are off. We'll go ahead and we come in here. And you can use an Allen wrench. Actually set it up. The only one I could find that actually fits, kind of a weird looking one, but I was actually able to get it. It's still the same thing. It's a hex head for an Allen. When I first did this, I did buy some parts. Like I said, it's a rat gasket. I just bought the ones I needed. These are some of the parts we took off. I do have a new gasket here for it. We are going to put the new gasket in when we reinstall this. I'm going to show you guys how we do it. So we'll go ahead and take these guys off. And also you can see the whole thing. I'm just trying to turn so you guys can see it. There is a spring in here, so it is going to want to hold the tension back. As soon as I get to this last one, I am going to kind of just hold it down because it is going to want to spring up. Yeah, just kind of, you see that how it popped up right there. It is actually holding on this one. And you take this guy off. Alright, I think that's about it. I don't think it's holding on any other one. I normally actually put gloves on just so that my hands don't get all greasy. Alright, so just so you guys can see, it's the 4 screws. This guy just pops right up off. it's holding my whole shaft and everything. That is good. So, like I said, I already replaced it. Take all your springs off the back. Everything comes off the back. We're gonna just go ahead and just pull this guy right off. Just kind of sits in there, pops right on, and pull it off. This is actually your ram. Your ram actually goes. Oh, I lost my gasket. If you can see, there's an actual the way it sits in there. It's not a complete circle. When you put it back in, you gotta feel for it, and it'll fall right in. There is no ring gasket on this. This gasket's right here. Sometimes this guy will wear down, doesn't let air flies by, and this is your seal that you need to replace. You just kind of squeeze that back in. Again, make sure I'm in line. Kind of squeeze that guy back in. It is a tight sit. It sits right in there. We're good to go there. Again, this is your back seals. You have you can hear it. Like I said, I already fixed it. You can hear the air being held pretty good. There's a seal here, and in fact, let's actually pop this off so you guys can see it. It's not gonna work. Give me 1 second. Get this guy here, right here. So I just took a nail and I cut the head off so it's flat, so it won't poke it. And you just put it right in here, and you can actually get a little ball bearing hammer, just a little. Take a little tap, one more little tap. Hold it because it's gonna want to spring out, and we got the back off. Again, there's a spring here. Spring goes in, just like that. You got your seal on this side. Like I said, you got your O-ring gasket. Pop these off, replace them. There's another one on the inside. I think you can see it right in there. You pop that guy right out, put another one back in. And this guy here, I actually replaced him too, thinking he might have been corporate. I don't think he was, but we replaced him as well. And then you also got a seal here, which I do have a new one, so we might as well put the new one on. So got it off. We're gonna just pop this guy right off. Just right off like that. This guy comes right off. This guy stays right in here. We're going to replace this one. As you can see, I believe this part number was, if you want to just zoom in on that, I don't know if you can quite see that part number. That was the seal number. Okay. All you do is come back here, clip it right on. Ooh, that was a nice setup there. And we're gonna wanna, so we wanna make sure when we put this guy back on, there's a lot of people making mistakes for whatever reason. You think you wanna go on this way because the spring sits on it. And you do, that's the way you want. If you wanna take this guy out, or you need to take this guy out to do this seal, you just pop it right through. And it just pops right out. Okay? It just kind of pops right out. You can replace him if you need to. He just kind of goes back. He just kind of goes back in an angle. Just push him right back in. Don't forget, that's always the front. Your head sits on that, so you have this seal here, and that guy sits on here. Just put him right back in. So we're gonna go like this. There's the little grooves in the back. It kind of just snaps right in there. It's not super tough. My hands are all greasy now because there is a grease. This is an oilless framing gun, so the only grease it has is the grease that's in here. When you're doing it, you might want to put new grease. I already did. I just popped it right in. You heard that, and then you can hear that seal in there real tight. So that guy's good. If you need to keep going, this guy will actually pull out as well. Actually, let's pull the ram out. You have another ring seal that goes right in here. This guy here actually pulls out as well. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Okay, you gotta unload this guy. That's real good. Let's see if I get this guy out. My hands are just Man, it's just got really greasy there, sorry. Let me get some gloves on here so we can pull this guy out pretty good. Show you guys the inside of it. Alright, we're back to being in here. Alright, just pull this guy right out, not a big deal. This guy pulls right out. Again, like I said, I got some grease in it. All these have a gasket seal here too, and another gasket seal here. So when you buy the kit, it comes with all of it. As you can see, this guy kind of slipped out when I pulled him out right now. We're gonna have to reset this. So as we're here, right? Can you guys see that? So I got kind of like a lot of grease in here because I was having issues with this, so I greased it up real good. So that seal's on there right there. This guy goes right back on this way, right up over. Sometimes this guy will leak, but this is just a bumper. This is your seal here. This is a seal here. This guy goes on it. There's another gasket seal right in here. You just take them off, just pop them right off, put new seals on. Again, not a very difficult thing. This guy goes right back in. Pretty simple. Just, if you can see inside there, just go straight back in. And it is kind of tight because, like I said, everything seals up real nice in there. Hold on. Actually, that was in the right spot. Let's just redo that again. Again, this guy goes right on like this. This guy's gonna go right back in here, just the way it was. Yeah, it just takes a little pressure. Push it in there, get it in there, and we're good to go there. We'll put it, like I said, this seal too will go bad on you. So you gotta pop this guy off, replace this seal here. You can see it just comes right off. It looks like it's broken, but it's actually cut. It's the close. It closes. As you can see, it'll close in right here. So we'll just put that guy right back in here. Again, set the setup in there. Go right in here. You gotta squeeze. So as you can see, you just gotta squeeze this seal here. Perfect. It is a tight set. That's the way it's supposed to be. And it'll go right in. Once it's in, it'll go right in. You need to push that guy. If you see, if I push it all the way out, that's the ram set where the nail's hitting. So push it back in. He's in. This guy here goes right on top. Oh, that guy kind of slipped down on me. So we go back to setting it back up. Okay, so we're back like this. Like I said, we are going to put a new seal on it. I got this part number here is also D6-687.2. We're going to go ahead and open this guy up. And recommendation is every time you open it back up, put a new seal on. We'll put this guy back on here. This guy's in, nice and tight, you can hear it. Guy's set in the back. We're gonna put this guy right back on. It does sit kind of tight, so we do gotta make sure we're on there good. Okay. This time we are going to come back in here. We're going to put this guy on here. Don't want to forget to put our side bumpers on. Come on. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to put this guy right back on. That seal just kind of fell to the floor, or fell to the bottom. Alright, there we go. I said, you gotta push it down, put the force on it, put our side bumpers back on. This is kind of just to protect your gun when you use it or you set it down. You're up there working on the roof. And we get our screws, put our screws in. We're just gonna hand tighten them for right now. And whenever I do anything, I always go catty corner on it, or I'm trying to make a star. Whenever you're trying to set anything on new gaskets, it's never just tying down straight across. So you always do want to kind of do like a star setup, or catty corner. Always make an X. Kind of just helps everything get set. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Sorry about that view there. You know, I see a lot of these videos too, and a lot of these guys are using like a drill to put these guys back on. And I mean, to each their own. I don't recommend it. You kind of can strip out your threads or over tying them, put them on too fast. Me personally, I just like to go in and do everything by hand. Just kind of get them nice and tugged. See how I'm kind of making going across. Good and tight. We'll come back and tighten them. Tighten it. Tighten it. Tighten it. Alright, so we're good there. Now we're going to come back in here. We are going to grab our back. Again, like I said, there's a rubber gasket in here. We're going to put the, not a gasket, just a little rubber bushing, I guess you could say, that goes right up in there. Our little foam kind of helps the air, kind of keeps it clean without dirt getting back in there if we were to drop it or something. This guy goes right back on. This guy's, again, it's the hex, same size. You just put it on. When you first take it off, it is pretty tight. They do have like lock nut on it, tight on it. So they are a little tough, but nothing's reverse threads. Everything's regular threads. And again, this is just hand tying it. This is just for air blows out. When you shoot the gun, the air blows out. Instead of blowing back in your face, it blows out through the top and through the two sides right here. You got the top back on, got the side bumpers on, just to protect your gun when you're using it. And this gun is good to go. Again, how to load it. We got our nails. Put the nails in. Whenever you want to do this, you always want to make sure you're not doing it with air on. You're not doing it with nails loaded. Nails in, close it. And this guy. About that, actually my ram is out, so it's not going to set. We're going to push this ram back, just so you can see it. All I do, I just have a long Allen wrench, and I'm just going to push it back. And you can feel it when I push it back, it dropped. It allows this to be able to close. It won't let it close. So when I go to when I put air into it, that ram's going to snap back in the back, and we'll be able to shoot. And there you go. That's a Ridgid Roofing nail gun. Again, model number R175RNF. I believe this is pretty much the same concept for the RF and the RN. Just newer models, older models, same way. Works the same way. Great little thing. Again, blowing air to the back, replace those gaskets as a gasket seal, or you go down to Ace, just buy the gaskets you need. I just recommend take them with you and do it. I will be doing another video on how to replace the trigger if you're shooting. If your gun's not shooting, go to shooting, air's just going out your trigger. You can replace your trigger. I already did. You can see, I don't know if you can see, I have some parts out here. You probably can't see. All my O-rings and gaskets are right there. I already replaced my whole trigger mechanism, but that's how you replace a leaking air from the back, a leaking gun blowing air out the back, the blown gaskets. Piece of cake. You do it yourself. 60 bucks for the kit, or take it apart, pull your gaskets off, take it into Ace Hardware or your hardware store around. Say, you know, these are the O-rings I need. Show them. They can size them up. Get you a standard O-ring for you. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Like I said, we'll be returning with how to do the trigger.